You're running against an incumbent. You're running against a Democrat. And one thing that we have unfortunately shifted to in this political era is where we are so beholden to people who are in office that we really kind of brush aside or try to suppress anyone who's challenging an incumbent. Tell us about some of the pushback that you've gotten in comparison to the support that you've gotten. And what would you say to other people who have an incumbent in a seat that needs to be vacated because they don't represent our progressive values?
Yeah. Well, we have gotten pushback from the beginning, and it's from the establishment. Right from the top, the Florida State Democratic Party tried to cut us off access to the voter database, exactly what Debbie Wasserman Schultz and her DNC tried to do to Bernie Sanders last December. Mm-hmm. And, you know, any kind of establishment organization or leadership of establishment entities, they have pushed back and they favor Wasserman Schultz. So we see a number of unions that have endorsed her without ever screening us, a number of Democratic caucuses around the state that have endorsed her without ever screening. So, you know, how democratic are those processes? Every endorsement that we've gotten, that my campaign has gotten, Communication Workers of America, the National Nurses United, a couple of local unions, the Transport Workers Union and a Pipe Fitters Union, and there's more lined up. All of those endorsements have been fair, open processes where the candidates get an opportunity to speak, to get screened on questionnaires, not with Wasserman Schultz. So the cards have been stacked against us, but I'll tell you, I never thought we were going to win this race by getting the votes of the establishment. The grassroots has come alive here. Our name recognition, our popularity, our message is resonating. That's what it really is. And one issue that's just come alive in the past few weeks, sadly, is the environment. You know, it's been a national news story that the filthy water from Lake Okeechobee has been coming right through the St. Lucie River down to the Atlantic Ocean with a sludge, a blue-green algae tide that is killing any sea life in its path. And a couple of weeks ago, my campaign went up to Stewart, 2 hours north of here, to inspect this toxic sludge. It was nauseating and completely avoidable. And a lot of it is the big agriculture and the big sugar farms surrounding Lake Okeechobee. They pump for decades fertilizers, phosphates, nitrates into the lake, and it would normally, you'd say, it would filtrate through the Everglades themselves. Right. But the water has been diverted. The south shore of Lake Okeechobee is filled with sugar plantations, right, which stops the natural flow of water. Because of that, the Everglades and Florida Bay have not been replenished, and South Florida's aquifer here, the drinking water of millions of South Floridians, is now endangered. It's becoming more salinated, you could say. And there are solutions that have been offered. The former governor, Charlie Crist, had reached a deal where the state would exercise eminent domain, take the sugar plantations, pay for them $1 billion, and then convert it to marshland so that we could renew the natural flow of Lake Okeechobee into the Everglades. But Governor Rick Scott, the Republican, has stopped it from happening. And I should say Debbie Wasserman Schultz has been taking a lot of money. Her largest single contributor was the sugar companies. She takes even more money in aggregate from big agriculture companies. And she's done nothing to help the situation. She's been completely silent on this. She talks about how her seniority in Congress should help South Floridians. Well, she's never used it to get an appropriation to solve this problem, to buy up the sugar plantations. And in fact, her voting record is just abysmal. You know, the highest absentee rate of any congressman, anyone in the Florida delegation, save Marco Rubio, and having introduced only 5 bills last year that have gone nowhere. It's really a terrible record.
So let's talk about that a little bit more then. Let's unpack that. Well, actually, from this perspective, you haven't been given an opportunity to debate Debbie Wasserman Schultz at this point. And is there a debate in the works? What does that look like? Because there's some issues that you guys really disagree on in a significant fashion. And I think all eyes would be on this debate.
I agree with you. And, you know, a number of reporters, TV hosts, radio hosts have now extended debate invitations to both Debbie Wasserman Schultz and myself. I've accepted every single one. She's ignored every single one. She hasn't even rejected them. She just ignores them like she can't be bothered responding. The two local papers here, the Sun Sentinel, has their editorial board has said that they're not ready to endorse anyone. They want to see debates. There was a major op-ed in the Miami Herald by Michael Putney, the dean of TV broadcast, political broadcast journalism here, calling for a debate, and she just dodges it. She dodges the debates all the time. And you know, you mentioned I'm a law professor. I'm currently a law professor at Nova Southeastern University. I've been teaching at the law school level for 2 decades now. And, you know, for 20 years, I've been debating folks a lot smarter than me on a regular basis. I don't think Debbie Wasserman Schultz has ever debated anyone in her congressional career, and I think she's afraid of debates. She should be afraid of debates. She cannot defend her record. She has been swimming in corporate money, and she has been shilling for them and ignoring the interests of South Floridians.
Oh, Tim, I absolutely love that. I thought you were getting ready to say, I don't think Debbie Wasserman Schultz wants to debate me. I was hoping you would say that because we would take that soundbite and send that everywhere. But I'll say it. I don't think she wants to debate you. And I think the residents and the constituents of the 23rd District of Florida deserve an opportunity to hear an alternative. So how do we get that debate? How do we make that happen?
Well, you know, we now just launched TV ads. It's very exciting that we're now at this stage that we were able to launch some ads at the local level. And one of the ads is a montage of Debbie. At the beginning, she's talking about the importance of debates in a democracy for candidates to be able to get their message out. And the rest of the 60 seconds is a montage of clips of either media folks asking her questions or people from the general public asking her the same question. When will you debate Tim Canova? Will you ever debate Tim Canova? And she just turns, grimaces, walks away because Debbie Wasserman Schultz is afraid to debate me.
That's what we wanted to. That's what I wanted to hear. I'm going to be honest with you. It's really at the point. It's at the point where I think you have a lot more support today. And we were behind you. Like I've been, you know, and your office knows. I know you've been super busy. We've been trying to get up with you for at least like 5 months. So, you know, we've had your back for some time. And for me, it's because I'm from the district, right? And I know every issue that you just outlined. I know about the check cashing scams. I know about the environmental issues down there. And we'll talk about some police reform in a second. But I'm passionate about my home. That's my second home there now.
I had no idea. Benjamin, I had no idea you were from South Florida.
Oh yeah, no, and I have a couple of names that I'm gonna send you offline that I want you to reach out to if you don't already have them on your team for some really sharp people down there that can help you out.